Hi guys, it's time for In My Mailbox again. This time the Book Expo America edition. I was down this past week to BEA in New York City, and I also went to the book blogger convention while I was there. And I was only there for one day, and I walked away with so many amazing books, and it was absolutely insane. I can't imagine the to-be-read pile I would have if I had been there the whole week. First, I'm going to start with a couple books I got from the library, just get those out of the way. The first one is a book called Empire of the Summer Moon. Quanah Parker and the Rise and Fall of the Comanches, the most powerful Indian nation in American history, and it's by S.C. Gwynne. This book is not the kind of book you usually see on In My Mailbox from me, but it is the kind of book that I really enjoy reading as part of research for just general things that I like. I'm a huge American history fan, so I'm really interested to see where this book goes. The next book is by Tori Maldonado, and it's called Secret Saturdays, and he spoke a few weeks ago at the Teen Book Fest in Rochester, and he was great on the new author panel, and this was the last one of the books to come in of the 4 new authors, so I was really excited to read this. Now, on to the BEA books, and there are several, so I'm going to buzz right through them. If something catches your eye or looks interesting, go check it out on Goodreads or Amazon, because I'm not going to give a whole lot of background information here. The first one, though, is one that I already read, and it's by Maggie Stiefvater, The Scorpio Races. I had my eye out for Forever, which is the last book of the Shiver, Linger, Forever trilogy, and instead I got this one, and I'm so happy. This book is amazing. I liked it better than her other books, which I'm hoping that more people do too. It's about mythical water horses who survive on flesh and blood, and about this tiny island and 2 people who are running in a race where they have to try and tame these killer horses and the fallout from that. And it was fabulous. I absolutely loved it, and I hope everyone gets a chance to read it and love it as much as I do. Alright, next. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book comes out in September. The Magic Dozen at Emerald Pond by Amber Lee Sellers and Stephen Brown. Grabbed this one because it has golf on the cover, and I like golf. It's a nice little tiny book. Looks really cute. Hopefully it's great. One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. This book has won a whole bunch of awards, as you can see by the cover, and it looks like another cute book. The People's War by Noel Ray. Comes out in October. This is another one that I picked up because I'm a big history buff, and any new book on history, I'm all about it. The next book is called Next to Love, and I grabbed it, honestly, because I happened to be walking past the booth while the author was signing, Ellen Feldman, and she caught my attention, so I came over, and the book looked interesting, so I grabbed one. Dark Eden by Patrick Carman. It says, "Fear is the cure," is the tagline, and that sounds really ominous, but really interesting. Next one is actually by Baxter Black, who's a cowboy poet, and he's hysterical, and I love him, and he's in the back of my American Cowboy magazine, I think, every month. And he has some great stories, so I'm really excited to read an entire book. And plus, the foreword is by Wilford Brimley, and even though this is a book and not a movie or TV, I could listen to that man read the phone book, and I would be riveted. So I'm excited to see what happens. And also, just to read this gigantic tagline because it makes me laugh. How to find your way when you don't have a map, how to win the game when you don't know the rules, and when someone says it really can't be done, what they really mean is that they can't do it. So I want to see what kind of lessons you learn from a desperado poet. The Golden West, 50 Years of Bison Books. I was at the Bison Books booth and was amazed at how many books that I really love were actually published by Bison Books. So this was the book they were giving out at their booth, and I grabbed it, and it's got excerpts from tons of their books that I really love. Alright, The Collectibles by James J. Kaufman. 2 Men, 1 Promise, 6 Lives Changed Forever. Absolutely gorgeous cover. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I wish you could see this cover better, but I don't think it comes through well on tape. Michelle Hodgkin. She was at the author speed dating at Book Blogger convention, and she was hysterical and fabulous and way smarter than everyone else in the room, and I cannot wait to read this book. The next book is from one of my favorite authors, Lisa McMahon, The Unwanted. It's a middle grade book. The cover is kind of crazy. It's got like a possessed gargoyle and like fire-breathing origami dragons, and it doesn't come out till September, but I can't wait to read it. The Little Women Letters by Gabrielle Donnelly. This is another one that just caught my eye as I was walking past a booth. I stopped to talk to the publishers, and it's a Touchstone book, and it kind of pulled me in a bit, and it's all about the new generation of sisters, so I want to see what happens there. Pile 2, Julia Fairchild by Louise Gaylord. The future seemed so clear until lightning struck. This is not my usual fare. It looked interesting. Can't wait to kind of step out of the box for a while and read it. And this is another book by the same author, Anna Chacho, it's called, and I grabbed it literally because of the cover. It's all deserty and cactuses and cool stuff like that. And then the tag is, "Things are rough on Anna Chacho Ranch. In fact, they're murder." So, we'll see who dies. This is another author I met at the author speed dating, and his name is Joseph, I'm going to butcher it, but Lunevich. Sorry about that. It's called Open Wounds, and there's fencing in it, and fencing is something I've always wanted to learn how to do, so the minute I saw that, I was all over it. This one I grabbed because it seemed like something that would be really interesting in the library, and it's called A Smart Pop Preview 2011 with excerpts from Friday Night Lights Companion, Triumph Walking Dead, The Psychology of Twilight. It seemed like a really good book to just kind of have on hand when you want to look up something quick about what's coming out. The Taker by Alma Katsu. This is another one that the cover really drew me in, I guess, more than did me in, but it looks great. Next to Normal, music by Tom Kitt, book and lyrics by Brian Yorkie, and it's also a production on Broadway, so that really caught my attention. Another great cover, Cold Kiss. This is a Harper Teen book by Amy Garvey, and I don't know if you can really tell, but there's some frozen lips there on the front, and I'm interested to see whose they are and how they got there. Next book by an author I absolutely love, Shut Out by Cody Keplinger. I was walking through the booths. I didn't know she was going to be signing. Stopped in the Library Journal booth where they had stuff for libraries, or librarians. And there she was, and I was so excited. This book looks so awesome, and I loved her book, The Duff. So if this is anything as good, I'm in for a treat. And it's not out till September. This is another mystery type book, Variant, by Robison Wells. Tagline, Trust No One. Another kind of fun mystery. This book caught my eye at the Book Blogger convention swag bag section. It's called Lot's Return to Sodom, and it's by Sandra Brannon, and it's a mystery. And I talked to the author for a little bit, and she was fabulous. All right, Something Inside Me by Chitoka Webb. How to Hang On to Heaven When You're Going Through Hell. Kind of an inspirational book. And then I got a couple of kids' books or younger reader books, and the first two are great. I met the author. She's a 9-year-old girl. She wrote the books with her mother. And they're nice and short and are great kind of first reader books. And they're called Arteo by Caitlin and Sandy Brannon. And the sequel is Return to Arteo. I don't know, it's kind of dim on the screen, but we got a unicorn going on the cover of this book. And a unicorn flying into a pretty awesome looking castle area on that book. So those look really cute. The next two are children's picture books. And this one is Sarah Emma Emmons Was a Great Pretender, The True Story of a Civil War Spy by Carrie Jones with illustrations by Mark Oldroyd. And this is about a girl who dressed up as a boy so she could fight in the Civil War. And as a history major and also as someone who's going to be a librarian in a few years, these are the kind of books I love to see because I don't think there's enough books out there that make history exciting for kids. So I was ecstatic to find this book. And the next book just looks like a fun kids book. It's called The Pink Party. It's about two girls who love pink and are constantly trying to outdo each other with their awesome pinkness. And it's by Marianne McDonald and illustrated by Judy Stead. And it's too cute. It's signed by the author, who was fabulous to talk to. So, those are all my books from BEA and BBC. It was a great few days in New York City. It was so much fun to meet some of the other bloggers and authors that I know online through Twitter or Facebook or their blogs, but have never met face to face. It was great to finally talk to everybody. And I hope everyone else had as great a book week as I did, and happy reading. Bye, guys.